Yeah, hello, boxing lovers. Welcome to the most authoritative boxing channel here on social media. Today, we are going to do our first live in a very long while where we will be talking about the most anticipated boxing bout of the year, which is between Terence Crawford and Saul Canelo Alvarez, two high operators of the sports who are going to puts their records on the line. And what is even at stake in this particular fight is the legacy. It's a legacy. I say legacy because Terence Crawford, if he wins this particular fight, he becomes the first man or male to become three division undisputed champion. Then, if Saul Canelo wins this particular fight, then he has also defeated a two division undisputed champion. These are two guys who are high level operators, and I think that this fight would end up giving us the best. It's going to be a lot of things is going to be at stake. Personally, I think that the the trajectory of this fight that's very interesting, and also there are a lot of questions that would be answered in this particular bout. Yes, there's going to be a lot of questions that are going to be answered in this particular bout. Is Saul Canelo still the same boxer he used to be? Because from the critics, we there has been like Canelo no longer moves. Canelo has become so confident in what he has achieved. He's not putting in much effort. His last fight against William Scal, he did not really go for the knockout. He hasn't knocked out anyone in several years. So those are some of the legitimate questions that would be answered in this particular fight. Whilst with regards to Terence Crawford, is going to be very interesting because there are a lot of ifs in which this fight are going to cement it. We have seen his former opponent in the person of Earl the True Smith Jr. today is putting out a tweet that he is in favor of Terence Crawford being victorious in this particular fight, and I think that it's going to be very good because Terence Crawford and Errol Spence, they have history, and I also think that uh, Terence Crawford, we would like to know how he would carry the weight, jumping two weight classes. I see a lot of people say that Terence Crawford is jumping uh, three weight classes. I don't think Terence Crawford is jumping two weight classes because Terence Crawford's last bout was in the super welterweight division where he defeated Israel the Dream Madrimov. So I think that this is a two-weight division that Terence Crawford is doing, and this is the first time he is doing that in his career, jumping two weight classes, untested in the division. How will he carry his power into the later rounds? Will his stamina travel into the later rounds? So there are a lot of questions that Terence Crawford will need to answer in this particular fight. And if he's able to answer these kind of questions and end up being victorious, then Terence Crawford would be put in the category of the elite of today's boxing, not today's boxer, of all time boxing. His name would be in the conversation of all time boxers. He would now similarly be compared to the likes of Floyd Money Mayweather. Let's remember, Floyd Money Mayweather has beaten Saul Canelo Alvarez. He handed Canelo Alvarez his first career defeat. And if Terence Crawford also manages to beat Saul Canelo Alvarez, that would be quite interesting because now the two of them would be compared to each other skill for skill, both being undefeated. What have they done? Terence Crawford does not have the so much, let me say, the names. He doesn't have the pack of names on his record. While Saul Canelo Alvarez, Floyd Mayweather can boast of so many Hall of Famers on his resume. So that is going to be the discrepancy between both pugilists and their records. But I think that Terence Crawford is going to do good in this particular fight. I'm not too sure Terence Crawford would win this particular fight, but I'm sure that he wouldn't behave like a Charlo in this particular fight because his mentality is up there and he is always in for the challenge. These days, you don't see a lot of boxers putting in that kind of mental toughness. We see a lot of boxers who give up easily, and Terence Crawford is not one of those boxers. Terence Crawford is a guy that would definitely be competitive right from the first round to the last round of this particular fight. So, this is my initial take. Currently rolling on our screen was when Saul Canelo Alvarez knocked out. Wow, a minute. This is getting interesting. I think the fight is about to commence, so they are showing bureaus of the old fights. That uppercut from Saul Canelo Alvarez that landed on Mungia was quite. Can Terence Crawford take that? And it's going to be very interesting. The lead hand of Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford must fight off his jab, and Saul Canelo Alvarez must keep touching Terence Crawford. He must keep touching him to the hand, to the chest, anywhere. He must. Saul Canelo Alvarez really fights, rarely fights behind the jab.